Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence.
When you think of an oligarchy, you think of all the billions of dollars surrounding Donald Trump right now, and he's kind of like the gatekeeper of the country. All the power is with him.
But it's better if we're all thinking about it, because eventually it's going to bite us all in the ass. That's just my 2 cents.
But Elon Musk seems to...
Welcome to another video, and in today's video, we are going to deeply analyze President Biden's farewell speech and the clueless comments from the DeVille LEDs. So, get ready to be surprised by the urgent issues about threats that he raised, which have been making waves. And a red alert has already been issued. Biden has indeed already started by talking about potential threats to democracy. But isn't, in fact, the continuation of his administration the real threat to democracy? Check it out.
Talking about President Biden's farewell address to the nation, where he spoke about the half-century of service he's leaving behind and gave warning to Americans about the future. Take a look.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy. The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. I still believe in the idea for which this nation stands. A nation where the strength of our institutions and the character of our people matter and must endure. Now it's your turn to stand guard.
So I miss him already. I miss him. He's a good person. You know, he spent the last 50 years caring about the country. This other one spent 50 years scamming everybody, you know, and trying to stay out of jail. You know who I'm talking about. You know, I really miss Biden. I feel like we were safe. Like, I didn't have to worry. Was everything going to blow up? Well, I could live my life while he was there. Now, every day I wake up and I worry, what is this guy going to do next? Yeah. And these oligarchs, can I just say one more thing and then I'll shut up?
No. You don't have to shut up.
They need to start shelling their money out. These guys, Bezos and what's his name? Musk. Trump. They give it to Trump. Yeah. Do they think that they're going to live forever, these people? You know, everybody dies. I hate to break it to them, but you are not going to live forever. According to the World Food Program, we could end world hunger by 2030 with $40 billion. That's all it would take. And he, Elon Musk, his net worth grew by $170 billion in the month after the election.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah. Just keeps making more and more money, and nothing is done with that money to help people. It's just to increase their power.
Which really
And while Biden warns about a supposed oligarchy threatening democracy, it's crucial to remember that the real danger comes from the concentration of power in the hands of a few politicians and bureaucrats, and the Democratic Party, with its excessive control initiatives and censorship, is the one that genuinely and sincerely puts individual freedoms in our society at risk. What we need is a government that acknowledges and respects the rights and liberties of citizens and promotes true freedom of speech and values. And when there's nothing more to say, they criticize campaign donations. See what was said and let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree.
What's really kind of sad, somebody said to me yesterday, why do you think they haven't given anything to California? I mean, there are all these people are, you know, going out of their way to do stuff. And I was looking to see if and I didn't see anything. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
Zuckerberg gave $2 million to wildfires. He's worth $200 billion. He gave $2 million. That's like $5 to me.
Elon Musk did donate Starlink, so people who were left offline were able to access internet and get communications. And Jeff Bezos, I will argue, for his flaws, is incredibly charitable. He and his wife have a ton of foundations. They deal with hunger and those things. But this is an important issue that Biden raises. Kara Swisher's been brilliant on this, sort of the rise of the corporate tech oligarchs, that we're starting to live in a time where the powerful and wealthy are getting more powerful and wealthy, and the rest of us are kind of just sitting back like, okay, how is this going to work? The thing I'd say is this. A lot of populist Republicans, and what kind of drew them to Trump, was actually this feeling that Silicon Valley and these ultra-wealthy people had way too much power. And it's where some of the Bernie bros started to kind of align with the Trumps. Now, we may disagree on the solutions, but it is not a fact that, like, Silicon Valley's actually backed Democrats more in the past. 60% of its contributions since 1990 were for Democrats. According to Open Secrets, companies like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Meta, Amazon leaned heavily blue. Now, the answer is not to point fingers at are they more for Democrats, are they more for Republicans, but how are there limits to the power that single individuals or single companies can have?
Those
and those are the
days are
conversations
done.
we
And the
don't
most
seem like we
dangerous
have.
part, when you think of an oligarchy, you think of all the billions of dollars surrounding Donald Trump right now, and he's kind of like the gatekeeper of the country. All the power is with him. The scary part is these people aren't billionaires because they like created like the zipper. Like they hold our attention for hours a day on addictive devices where we cannot get any regulation. So they not only surround the man and have access to power, because money is power, power is, you know, everything right now. It's the fact that they run the companies that own our souls right now, and especially our young people, and no one will take a step towards helping protect them. And they're the most vulnerable among us.
I think one of the things, you know,
And the narrative that billionaires like Musk and Bezos are strengthening the right is unfounded. The truth is that the elites are in favor of liberal policies that benefit them financially in various ways. Meanwhile, conservatives are fighting for a truly free market in many instances. And in this statement, even Silicon Valley got called out. Information control, has it stirred up some talk? Listen closely to the controversial opinions of the hosts of The View.
in response to what you're saying, Alyssa, that usually it was the left that these Silicon Valley guys backed. The reason they're not backing it is because they back whoever is in power where they can make more money.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
so
that.
the truth is shrouded by profit and
I agree with that.
misinformation. And so that's what this issue is. And it's something that, you know, I talk about all the time, and I feel like I'm just, you know, speaking to myself. This started 15 years ago. This started when the Supreme Court in Citizens United said that corporations giving money to politicians was free speech.
Yeah.
This is where this started. And so where it ends is reversing the Supreme Court's decision
But the flip
in
side of
Citizens
that,
United.
because I have mixed feelings on the
Too much
Citizens
money in
United of it.
politics.
But so many Democrats will say that, but then they themselves also take dark money and big corporate money. Like, how do you change it if you don't practice what you preach on it?
Everyone should not take
The law
the
should
money.
stand for everybody.
It should
Right,
stand
but the
for
law says
everybody.
that they can do it. I guess my
But I'm
point
saying,
is.
but the law, listen, you can go back and forth of who did what, who didn't what. There are so many reasons why this is happening. Parents, it is in your hands. This is in your hands. If you got kids who are lost to the internet, you got to go rescue them, because the government's not going to do it for you. You have to stand up and say, I don't care if you don't like it. Or do what my mother used to do. Oh, if 15 people jump off the roof, you gonna go with them? I mean, but you have to, they're not your friends, they're your children. And you've got to say, listen, here's the time. You can do this and you can do that. But you also then have to get off the internet. You got to do it yourselves. There are things we can do, but we haven't been doing. So
But the law needs
before
to
we
be
get
changed,
And
too.
Silicon Valley, which has been a strong pillar from liberal support in various ways, supporting agendas that restrict the freedom of citizens under the pretext of protecting society. And what we see, in many instances, is an attempt to manipulate the discourse and silence conservative voices. It's time to demand transparency and accountability from these companies. And now that some companies, such as X and Meta, have decided to take a stand in the industry, they're trying everything, in various ways, to bring them down, for instance, in an attempt to undermine their efforts.
Changed, too.
Well, the laws need to be changed, but I
Citizens
think if
United.
your children do not have access all the time, all day long.
They sneak it in anyway.
Yeah, but you got to. You think we weren't sneaky?
I know, but it wasn't as
come on.
dangerous when we were kids.
And also, you know, let's also not forget that along with a lot of this, people are getting rid of their need to hire people, because what we're going to see is people are not going to hire folks. They're not going to allow folks in school.
You meaning the use of AI?
No, I'm talking about
Security
all
guards?
DEI.
DEI.
The DEI.
Oh,
you know?
the DEI
yeah.
hires.
So all those things are
'Cause it's really
disappearing.
about
Because
qualification.
it's you know, who knows what it's about. But there's a lot of stuff going on that some of you will have to think about and some of you won't. But it's better if we're all thinking about it, because eventually it's going to bite us all in the ass. That's just my 2
But
cents
Elon
for
Musk
what
seems
it
to put a
is.
lot of money into going to Mars. Maybe he'll go there. Let us hope. Bye.
It's a correction. There is some question as to whether Taylor Swift actually gave $10 million. So it might have been a
Beyonce
a
gave
thing.
2.5.
And I
Right.
bet Taylor will give. She's
And
very
she
charitable.
probably will, but
My queen will
because
give.
I can't say that she did, absolutely, I thought it was correct. But this is the thing: you hear something, and sometimes it's correct, and sometimes it's not, and you clean it up when you know.
That's right.
So-
And Disney's given a lot of money,
And
15
Disney,
million.
yeah.
As you can clearly see, Biden's recent and impactful speech and the various issues that were raised in DeVille are indeed completely and utterly controversial. Enough of this narrative, right? We're all tired of this manipulation about what we should think and defend. And with Biden's speech, it just showed even more that conservatives are on the side. All right. And if you're tired of the mainstream media's one-sided narrative and want to know the truth, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, leave your like, turn on the notification bell, and share this video. And together we can indeed defend values that really matter for our country. See you again next time